Hey everyone, my name's Bullshit, and today I'm with Parappa the Rappa, and we're going to determine if the PlayStation Classic is a good idea or is it kind of BS. You've already seen the reveal trailer for the PlayStation Classic, and you've probably already seen other people cover its specs, so I'm not going to cover any of that. It seems that Sony is trying to create a product with nostalgic value, and my aim is to examine whether I think they're going to hit that mark or not. This is all about a simpler console from a simpler time. There's been all this recent talk about 4K, Blu-ray, digital downloads. To me, I can just take all that and shove it, okay? I miss being able to grab a polycarbonate disc with my own hands, putting it in the console, smashing the lid down, pressing power button, crossing my fingers, and hoping I hear this. You know what I miss? Games with cool cases. Look at this case for the Chocobo collection. Look how it presents itself to us, so that we may tangibly enjoy its artistic qualities. You smell that? That is the smell of a Chocobo ranch. You don't get that with digital downloads. You know what else I miss? Games with cool manuals. Here's a manual for Dragon Quest IV. It's 44 pages of illustrated goodness, filled with character bios, how to play the game, tips and tricks, and even details about the items, armors, and weapons you'd use in the game. I'm tired of motion blur, lens flare, and god rays being shoved down my throat. Call it strange, but I find the jagged pixelation of Resident Evil 1 to add to the suspense of the game. And maybe, just once more, I'd like to see Tifa Lockhart's pointy boobies in all of their polygonal glory. So to me, the PlayStation Classic will be at its best if it allows us to accurately relive all those great memories we had with the console. For example, as a kid, I greatly appreciated being able to come home after a crappy day, sift through my game collection, find the game that I wanted to play, and just get lost in my own little world for a while. It was a ritual, it was something I could depend on to make me feel better. So on paper, the PlayStation Classic looks great, right? You get the console that looks just like the original PlayStation console, but it's a smaller form factor. You're getting the controller that is an exact replica, pretty much, of the original PlayStation controller. But as I did more digging, my bullshit detector started to go off. The thing that stood out to me was the CD tray. What's up with that thing anyways? Is it functional or not? Well, according to Wired.com, and I'll put a link to the article in the description, it's not a functional CD tray. The console is too small to accommodate an actual working CD tray. And instead, the console is going to be using something called virtual discs, whatever that means. And according to Eurogamer, Sony announced that there's going to be no way to add on extra games post-release. So does that mean we're going to be stuck with the 20 preloaded games that come with the console? If so, that's going to be really disappointing because part of the fun of the old consoles was that you got a tangible copy of the game, plus the cool stuff that came with it. If I'm not able to play my PS1 games on this Classic, that's gonna really suck because I have a lot of them that I'd like to play on a reimagined PlayStation console, and they're just gonna sit, so that sucks. Before I pre-order the PlayStation Classic, I want Sony to clarify a few things about the virtual disc system. Are there going to be any physical releases of any of the games from the PlayStation catalog post-release? It's weird that the system has a virtual disc reader, I guess, but according to the Eurogamer blog post, there's going to be no other games post-release. So what's the point of the virtual disc? Plus, what would really seal the deal for me about the PlayStation Classic would be seeing a physical re-release of some of those old PlayStation games. I mean, yes, give me more collectibles. I will pay you money to see re-releases of these games. And at first I thought, you know, maybe that's asking Sony too much because it costs money to make all these cases and print these discs and all the packaging materials and whatnot, but at the same time, they're making an effort to rehash the PlayStation. I feel like it'd be such a missed opportunity if they didn't even print some physical copies of these games. Otherwise, for $99, it better be really good at emulating the games it does come with. I know there were some arguments about the $99 price point. For example, people were saying that, oh, the PlayStation had DualShock controllers. It should come with DualShock controllers. Well, that's not actually true. I think there's some confusion about the PlayStation, as in the original PlayStation, and the PlayStation 1. The PlayStation that came out in 1994 in Japan did not come with DualShock controllers. The DualShock controllers didn't actually come out until 1997. So I guess I can respect Sony not releasing the DualShock controllers with this, because according to their blog post that they made announcing the PlayStation Classic, they wanted to make it be exactly like how it was released all those years ago. The second major argument I read was that it's unfortunate that the package doesn't include an AC power adapter. I feel like it can be really inconvenient to get AC power adapters sometimes. I did notice that the package does include an HDMI cable, and maybe Sony can consider replacing the HDMI cable with an AC power adapter, because I feel like it's more common for people to have extra HDMI cables laying around rather than AC power adapters, so that could be a good move. The third argument I read was that it'd be much cheaper to find an old PlayStation instead of PlayStation games on eBay, Craigslist, or something like that, and I'm kind of on the fence on that, because yes, it can be the case that you find a cheap PlayStation that is working and a set of games, but buyer beware, you never know exactly what you're getting. You might get a console that's working, but it smells like pee because the previous owner's cat pissed all over it, or the console looks fine, but the internals are all screwed up, and you might get a set of games that maybe look nice on the outside, but the discs are all scratched up and they don't run properly, or the discs look fine, but you don't get that nice packaging that collectors like me really value. So, is the PlayStation Classic bullshit? I'm gonna say maybe, because it depends on who you are. If you're, let's say, someone with a PlayStation 4, and you have all the old PlayStation games you want on your PS4 through the PlayStation Store, and you're fine playing it on your PS4, then yeah, this is kind of bullshit to you, because why would you get this just to do the same thing you can already do with a console that you already have? If you're someone who wasn't able to get the original PlayStation and you kind of want to get a taste of what the PlayStation was like, and you don't want to have to deal with going through eBay or Craigslist, then I don't think this is bullshit for you, because you're essentially getting an old PlayStation, but in a smaller form factor. And once they release the full list of 20 games and you see what you like, you pretty much know what you're getting. If you're someone like me who likes to collect old video games and you want to have an actual console and you want to have the actual physical copies of the games, then you're probably going to think this is pretty much bullshit just because of the whole virtual disc thing. Well, that's my take on the PlayStation Classic. I might be too over-sentimental about what I expect out of it, but isn't that kind of the point of this console? Either way, Sony has the potential to do a lot of good here, and I hope that they're already considering some of the things I spoke about in this video. What do you say, Parappa? I gotta believe. Well, it makes both of us. What do you think about the PlayStation Classic? What do you hope that Sony does or does not do with this console? Also, what do you think about this video? Leave your comments below, I'm interested to read them. If you like this bullshit and you want more of it, like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.